Welcome, everyone, and thank you for joining this presentation on financial wellness. My name is Dexter Cumberbatch, Retirement Education Specialist with Voya. And we're going to be spending maybe 25 to 30 minutes this morning or afternoon, depending on where you are, discussing this also important topic, financial wellness, and ultimately how you can take some important steps to improve your financial wellness. I want to say that although I won't be able to provide any tax advice or any investment advice during the session, should you have any questions about what I will share, please don't hesitate to use the Q&A feature here on Zoom. Please feel free to submit your questions. And then towards the end of our agenda here, I'll be more than glad to address any questions. Now, for our agenda, we will be discussing what is financial wellness, along with some of the pillars that essentially make up that foundation of financial wellness. And then I will also share with you some of the resources available on your ABA Retirement Funds program, where you can get the help you may need. And then also I'll be pointing you in the right direction on how you can get advice, right? Whether that's online advice or even professional management through or Voya Retirement Advisory Service. But so without further ado, I want to start by defining financial wellness. I mean, this may be a new term for many of us, right? Financial wellness. I would say that financial wellness is about a healthy balance between living for today while also preparing financially for tomorrow. It is not necessarily being wealthy but instead in a state of mental well-being where you feel confident and in control over your current finances and in your financial decisions. When I ask friends, family, well, what does financial wellness mean to them? I often get responses like, well, is making better choices or living within my means, or even some will say, well, being prepared for the unexpected if something should happen. And I think this topic is important. It is on many of our minds, and there is a lot of data also supporting this, because you would find that surveys show that at least 47% of U.S. adults say that money negatively impacts their mental health, right? And we know there are a lot of things that we can control when it comes to money, but there are a few things that we can't. And so I will show you today how you can take some steps to feel that sense of control. And you know what? These are real issues. These things are nothing to be embarrassed about, but they are part of life. So where should we start when we talk about financial wellness? So let's start with the financial wellness experience, which is built on 6 pillars that we feel are foundational to our overall financial wellness. And now these pillars include both short-term and long-term goals, as you see here on my screen. And while all 6 pillars you will find they are important, we believe that when you're in control of your short-term goals, you'll be better equipped and better able to handle than your long-term goals. Now, when we talk about short-term goals, we're talking about protecting your family, right? Protecting your income by making sure that your loved ones have adequate health and disability insurance, given should something happen, they will be able to be taken care of. Also, when we think about short-term goals, we think about our spending and saving, essentially managing our cash flows so that we spend less than we make. And then building an emergency fund. And this is something that goes a long way in having a little bit of peace of mind, where should the unexpected happen, if all in a sudden you need to cover an unexpected expense, you have the funds to cover those expenses. Now, on the long-term goals, those include retirement, which I know here with the ABA Retirement Funds Program, we talk often about retirement, but also on the long-term side, we have managing your debt, and then we all have dynamic financial lives. So we all perhaps have not only retirement goals, but also other financial goals. So even savings goals. And then, so we'll talk about how you can prioritize saving for goals, for other goals, such as buying a house, or for example, saving for college, or even for your kids or grandkids, or even a vacation. So let's start with pillar one here, which is to understand your protection needs. Now, we all want to protect ourselves and our families. This to help strengthen the financial security of those we love. And when it comes to getting the protection we need, a simple plan can help you make informed decisions. So protection is really and simply about insurance. And you can think about it in two basic areas. One is protecting yourself today, and then protecting your future. Now, when it comes to protecting yourself today, it is about protecting your earnings and protecting your savings. Now, and this is, you may ask, well, protecting it from what? Well, from unexpected medical expenses, which can put an incredible pressure on our finances. And in fact, just to FYI, like, it is the leading cause of personal bankruptcies. Now, also suffering a disability, either through an accident or an illness, which can limit our ability to pay our bills. So health insurance and disability insurance are critical protection products for all of us to consider. And now, to provide some additional protection, you can also consider critical illness insurance. This is to help fund any out-of-pocket medical expenses, or you can also contribute to a health savings account to fund future medical expenses. So protecting our future is about planning ahead. And life insurance is also a great way to protect our loved ones if we certainly are not around, helping them transition to life without us, and providing financial support during very difficult times. And then let's not forget about long-term care insurance, which is going to be another way to protect our finances in the event of any future medical issues. Now, here we're going to take a look at pillar two, which is establishing good money habits. And we can, well, let me say before I say that you work hard for your money, and your income is precious, and what you do with it definitely counts. So to live within our means today and save for tomorrow is going to be key. So this is why we want to establish good spending habits, healthy spending habits, which is a significant part of improving our overall financial wellness. And it's never too late, right? It's never too late to, number one, begin getting organized. And this means like having all our financial information in one place, one easy, accessible place, so that we can get to it when we need it. Also, to building a budget that is a realistic budget. And then from there, we can make adjustments as we go. But you certainly don't want to forget about also contributing to your retirement account, and doing that starting as early as possible, and essentially contributing to your retirement account as often as possible. Now, establishing money habits, I will ask one question when we talk about here saving and establishing money habits, is that, well, as you think about it, how do you feel? Do you know exactly where your money is going? Because it is important to have a handle and be familiar with our finances. Now, when it comes to pillar two and focusing on spending and saving, let's start with the saving part, because when it comes to saving money, it helps to have to be objective. Uh, and to do this, you want to start thinking about some financial goals that you may want to achieve, even either now and certainly in the future. So these includes, right, short-term goals like paying down debt, long-term goals like saving for retirement, and everything else in between. So as you think about your short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals, well, ask yourself a few questions. Number one is, what's most important to you? Also, think about what are the things that make you happy, and what do you want to accomplish, and what dreams do you have now and for your future. And this is where we talk about needs, wants, and wishes. This may seem very basic. I know it's a little bit basic, but this information is critical to setting you on the right path to financial wellness. Now, when it comes to the spending part of our financial wellness, we're going to begin with budgeting, which is and when we think about budgeting, it is black and white. When it comes to budgeting, you're either making money, losing money, or breaking even. And once you've latched on to smart spending strategies, a budget takes the emotion out of your finances and helps you kind of be grounded and feel a sense of control of your finances. Now, it also may help get your spouse or partner and everyone in your house on the same financial page and working towards the same goal. Now, I will say that when it comes to budgeting, I will say that it is essential and it helps to begin the budget with these easy steps. Number one is to add up all of your income sources. For most of us, this is our salary, but don't also forget about the interest and dividends from your savings and any brokerage accounts, or even any other sources of income like alimony payments and any regular gifts and even some cash from time to time from relatives. So once you put in all of your income, then you will go to step two, which may take a little bit more time and effort. You need to add up all of your monthly expenses, not just the regular bills and statements that you get, but everything that you spend money on. And this even includes small amounts, like maybe which we don't pay as much anymore, but things like ATM fees, if you have to pay for parking and expenses like those, even if they're not recurring expenses. Now, similar to the way we look at our goals in three different categories, we can divide up our expenses into three different buckets. So this is bucket one is I'll say essential expenses, which includes a mortgage, rent, car payments, I'll say some medical costs, anything that we can't do without. And then we have the savings expenses, because yes, we'll include those savings. For example, a IRA, a retirement account, if you're putting money towards your employer plan, your employer 401k plan. These savings expenses include any savings account that you fund on a regular basis. And then you have the discretionary expenses. This includes anything that we could essentially live without if we had to. Maybe going to the movies, restaurants, spending money on vacation, any other forms of entertainment. So finally, once you have all of your income and you also have all of your expenses, you take the total expenses and you subtract from your total income. And of course, if the result is a positive number, then congratulations. Hey, you're doing good. You have a little bit of a surplus. but you're essentially spending less than you're bringing in, which is key. But if not, now you have a good baseline, a good idea from which you can start making changes and get yourself towards or move towards that positive number. Now, from here, we will go to pillar 3, which is creating an emergency fund. And this is all about saving for the unexpected, which involves making sure that we have enough cash, enough money set aside in case and to cover any unforeseen expenses, right? And essentially protect ourselves when life dishes us a few surprises, which happens to every one of us. Now, why is it important to create an emergency fund? I'll tell you. And here's one statistic: a study shows that 40% of Americans could not meet an unexpected $400 expense without borrowing. And I know that's a pretty incredible statistic. It is, but it just goes to show that the importance of putting money aside and definitely preparing for the unexpected. Now, the first step in creating an emergency fund is to start with a goal, right? Ideally speaking, you can set a goal for 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses, or even more, if you like. Now, I would say that when it comes to saving, remember that definitely, as you look to save for your emergency goal, you don't want to mix these emergency savings with other forms of saving. It is a good idea to actually just create a separate account, right, in order to start funding and building those emergency savings, and then to accelerate your emergency savings, to build up perhaps a little bit faster. You can do a few different techniques, a few different things. For example, maybe like using part of your tax refund if you want to kind of supercharge, jumpstart your emergency savings. I know we're a little bit far away from tax season right now, but yeah, you could separate some of those tax returns if you have it that to actually boost your emergency savings, to build up your emergency savings. Also, when it comes to your emergency savings, you may want to just build that into your monthly budget, right? And when I say this will be part of the saving expenses category on your budget, and that just also leads me to the next point, which is when you're doing a budget, it is a good idea to do that budget often, right? Not just once a year or twice a year, but actually you can do it on a monthly basis, especially as you earn your income. It always helps. Now with pillar 4, I want to start, and this is pillar 4. This is where we talk about the long-term goals. We've kind of gone through pillar 1, 2, and 3, these are our short-term goals. But now we'll move into our long-term goals here, and we will start with retirement, with saving for retirement. And here I'll ask you to imagine your best retirement. So when you think about your best retirement, what do you see? Is it traveling? Is it perhaps going to places that you always dreamed of? Is it spending more time with family? But I would say, regardless of your goals, getting to where you want to be depends on your choices that you'll be making today, especially when it comes to what you decide to do with your money. Now, I would say that as you move through your career, as you continue or begin saving in your retirement plan, I will say that you may think about saving for retirement in a few different ways. So meaning, in your early career or mid-career, your focus may be on accumulating in retirement investments, accumulating more money, right? So that you can reap the potential benefits of your long-term savings. Meaning you want to focus on growth in your early to mid-career. But then as you move closer to retirement, for those of you who are now moving from mid-career to the later stages, then you may from there want to or be thinking about preserving the money you've saved, right? Be focusing on capital preservation, where because you're closer to kind of reaping the benefits of that long-term compounding of saving all of those years. And then those in a late career, maybe your late career, you're already about to retire, then you may want to prioritize capital preservation, and then from there transition to safer investments. And this is especially important for people who are focused on lowering risk to protect against any investment volatility. Now, having said this, what I want you to think about is that your investment mix, the investment mix that you might have started with maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago, well, that may not be the right mix for you now as you've kind of gotten closer to retirement. So if you aren't quite sure whether you have the right mix of investments, then this is where I'll encourage you to speak with someone, to speak with a financial professional who can guide you and help you review your investments to ensure that what you're doing is in line and congruent with your goals. Also, when it comes to your long-term goals and saving for retirement, you may also want to consider saving for healthcare expenses in retirement. Healthcare, it can be a little bit expensive in retirement. In fact, the data shows or statistics shows that I'll say that a 65-year-old can expect to incur about between 191 and 226,000 in long-term care costs over a lifetime, and that the average premium or someone would pay will need about 366,000 in today's dollars to have a 90% change of meeting medical expenses in retirement. So you will need about 366,000 overall to retirement to actually meet your medical expenses during retirement. So as you can see, yes, healthcare is going to be a big cost and a big part of your retirement expenses. So there are a few ways that you can fund your medical expenses in retirement. I won't go through all of them today, but one of the ways is by using some tax-deferred savings accounts, such as a HSA and a FSA, which can offer some tax benefits and a more favorable way to save for healthcare expenses in retirement. I'll go straight to it. When it comes to the HSA, the health savings account, if available, if you have that available, an opportunity to have one, it offers that triple tax treatment, meaning the contributions into the HSA are pre-tax. Then, while in the HSA, while in the account, any growth, any potential growth is tax deferred, and then also, when you look to withdraw those funds, to use those funds for qualified medical expenses, any withdrawal is tax-free. So the HSA is a great way to actually put some money aside for medical expenses in retirement. And here I want to share with you some tips for investing as you continue to get ready and save for retirement. Well, for starters, if you haven't already done so, it's never too early to start, and it's actually never too late to start also. And also, when it comes to investing, you may want to consider just investing at your own pace. invest what you currently do not need. So if certainly you want to again lean on your budget to make sure that you can and are investing the right amount, and then take a long-term approach when it comes to investing in and for your plan. Take a long-term approach. No one can predict the markets. Volatility is going to be part of investing for retirement. So ensure that again you have the right mix, and that you know that these your investments are long-term investments, long-term investments. And then the earlier you start, the sooner you start, the better. The longer you save, the more money you may have in retirement. And I know this is a simple idea, simple concept, but it's a really important factor. And this is why I encourage everyone to that time is the most important factor. If you can, you want to start saving now. And as you consider saving for retirement, you will find that many of you will have a couple savings options, meaning on one hand, you may have the opportunity to make pre-tax contributions into your retirement plan. Pre-tax contributions and this way of savings have been around for decades. And this is when you make contributions into your 401k plan before taxes, right? So the contributions are before taxes. This lowers your taxable income, and then taxes are paid at distribution when you use the money in retirement. But in addition, you may also have the opportunity to make Roth contributions in your retirement plan. And Roth contributions, they allow you to save in a different way. The money goes into your retirement plan after taxes. But the big difference here is that the qualified distributions are tax-free. So this is, when I mean qualified distributions, I mean distributions once you or after you are the age of 59 and a half. And in the case of the Roth, you would have had to hold this account for at least 5 years. So once you're 59 and a half and you've had these savings for over 5 years, any distributions from your Roth, from the Roth portion of your retirement account is tax-free. And for Pillar 5, here's where we go to the part of managing our debt. And I'll dare to say, if you are able to even paying off your debt, right? Eliminating debt can definitely boost our financial wellness. Debt can be a real drag sometimes to our finances. So, and here are a few steps you can implement to get started. First is to pay down the highest interest debt first. And while you're at it, while you're paying down debt, please make sure to continue to save for retirement, and do not dip into your retirement savings to actually pay off debt. It will set you back. And then also, as you look to pay down debt, make sure that you have, and this is where having a strong budget will help. And while at it, also using cash may be helpful. Using cash for everyday purchases, it makes it easier to remain disciplined. And from there, if you're going to be using a credit card instead to make payments, then you perhaps want to think about being disciplined with credit cards and paying off the credit cards so that you don't forfeit any benefits. I know many credit cards offer points, they offer benefits, but if you're paying interest from carrying over balances month to month, then you're definitely foregoing any potential benefits that card is offering. And then for Pillar 6, Pillar 6 is to save for your other goals. And now I think we all have different priorities. We have other goals that we may want to achieve and save for. And here's where it is important to, again, go back to writing down our needs, our wants, our wishes, and then from there, understanding the cost of those other goals. So meaning, let's say if another goal is that you're saving for your kids or your grandkids college education, then you want to understand the cost, right? And sometimes the cost is a little bit challenging to predict, but you can certainly get a good estimate. And then from there, once you understand the cost and you have a plan to fund those savings for that goal, then you want to also establish the right account and the right investments for that goal. If it's a short-term goal, then perhaps you want to be invested, or you want to save in a more liquid account, right? But if it's a long-term goal, maybe 10, 15, 20 years from now, then you may want to at least put those savings into a separate interest-bearing account to help you reach your goal a little bit faster. So when it comes to your financial wellness journey, you're not alone. We have plenty of resources to assist with your financial wellness. You will find one of those resources is the Financial Wellness Resource Center. It is found on the ABA Retirement Funds Program Plan website, where you can find educational material. You can also find some additional tools and calculators to help you with your goals and your financial decisions. You'll also find the My Orange Money experience on the plan website. This is an interactive experience that helps you visualize and better understand the impact of saving for retirement. It helps answer one key question, which is, number one, well, am I saving enough? Or in retirement, am I going to be okay? It provides you with an estimated monthly income in retirement, and then it also allows you to consider different saving scenarios. And then if you need help, so you need assistance, we do have plenty of help. If you are ready or you like to sit down with a financial professional, please, you can schedule a complimentary appointment by either scanning this QR code. Maybe you can also use this link that you see on my screen, or call this 844 number, and certainly we'll have someone available to sit with you. You can schedule a meeting, and from there have a complimentary appointment to discuss your goals. Also, if you need assistance in managing your retirement savings, into assistance with advice, if you like advice on how to invest and how to manage your investments, you can find that advice online on the ABA Retirement Funds Program website. If you're wondering, okay, what investments should you choose? How much should you save? How much your account might be worth in retirement? Or are you taking the right amount of risk? If you have questions like these, or things that you're thinking about, then certainly we have answers. And there is, again, you can find advice on the plan website, but also not only you can find advice, but you can find also professional management. If you're looking for for us to not only offer advice, but proactively and professionally manage your retirement account, we can also do that through Voya Retirement Advisors. So here's you can call us. You can have a complimentary appointment to discuss your goals, and from there we'll provide some insights and some guidance. Again, thank you so much for your time. This concludes our meeting on financial wellness. Thank you so much for joining us.